This is about the 10 commandments to dealpreneurship. And the reason why I have 10 commandments for dealpreneurship is because every time that I have violated one of these principles, one of these commandments, I have lost money somehow. And so we'll get into each of them, but this is the best way that you can make money off of your money. Warren Buffett talks about how if you never learn how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. And so you have to get into a position where you feel comfortable deploying money into the things that you want to do. And these are the principles that I've used that have helped me make a lot of money and also not lose money, which is almost more important than making money every single time. So the first principle is you only do deals where if you're right, you get rich. And if you're wrong, you don't go broke. This is one of the first things that I learned when I was practicing law. I had a billionaire that I was doing deals with, and I was helping him as his lawyer. And I went to dinner with him and I asked him why he was able to do so many more deals than private equity firms and all these people that had a lot more money than he did. And he said that this is the principle that he uses. He only does deals that if he's right, he get rich. And if he's wrong, he doesn't go broke. So he never bets his kingdom for a pot of gold. What that means is if you find a deal that looks like it's going to require you to put a ton of money in, but it looks like it could be safe, if you're putting a big portion of your net worth into it that you could potentially lose for a 2 or 3% return, that's not a deal that you could get rich on. So it's not worth doing. Also, if there's a way in the deal for you to go broke, it's just not worth doing. No matter where you are in life, one of the keys to the investing game is to never fully lose, never go down to zero. And so as long as you're not doing things that can completely wipe you out and completely take you out of the game forever, then you can keep playing the game and you can keep getting better. The second commandment is if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. We play for profit, not for pitch decks. And so as soon as you enter into the world of dealpreneurship, you're going to see all of these people that are wanting you to invest in their ideas. As soon as people know that you have any amount of money, they're going to want to send you a pitch deck and say, this is a great deal. The TAM or total addressable market of this idea is billions of dollars and we can make hundreds of millions. My personal rule of what I found of every venture deal that I've ever done, if I could take all of it back and get all of that money back, I would, because they just don't make money and it's on far too long of a time horizon for me. And so my rule that I've made is if I can't see that the venture is already making money, if it's already profitable, then I'm interested. If it's not profitable, then I'm not interested. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. The third commandment is that passive money is lazy money. If your capital is your only contribution, stay on the sidelines. I once did a deal in oil and gas, and I really liked the guys that were running the deal. They were the general partners. They were the guys that were the people that were operating the deal. I was coming in as a limited partner. And so I called a buddy of mine that had done a bunch of investing in oil and gas. And I told him about the deal. I told him that I was going to put 100 grand into the deal as kind of like a learning curve to learn how I could get into oil and gas more. And he said, you should consider this as your tuition to getting into oil and gas, but never be a limited partner longer than you have to. The LPs in the deals are the dumb money. And so don't be a limited partner any longer than you have to be. And that helped me realize that I want to find the deals that I can bring a unique perspective to. I can do something other than just cutting a check in order to make the deal go well. That's helped me avoid this idea of just looking for things where I'm a passive partner and I'm not contributing it in any way. I don't have any control over how the investment goes over time. The fourth commandment is to wait for the right odds and to bet big, that diversification is for dummies. So when you get into the investing world, you hear all this stuff about diversification, that you should have 1% of your portfolio in one thing and 1% in a different thing. And you should take all of these little small bets. If you're a passive investor, then that may be the best thing. But what you'll find as you get into investing is that your rewards will be commensurate with how big of a bet that you take. And you'll only take big bets on things that you feel confident that you can affect the outcome on. And so as soon as you start moving away from the idea of diversification, you start to get much more selective about the thing that you want to bet on. And it helps you make better decisions and to take fewer bets and make sure that they're big. And you go for the ones where you feel like you really have an outside chance of affecting the outcome. The fifth commandment is that there's no free lunch. Everyone pays to play, and your sweat doesn't buy my jet. There's all of these people out there, all of these consultants who want equity in the thing that you're trying to build. They want to basically get a free ride on the hard work that you've put into doing your business or to investing in a deal. And so my personal rule and what I found in the businesses is that if everyone has skin in the game, it aligns everyone towards an outcome that the best decisions get made that way. So I won't let anybody in the deal on sweat equity or consulting. I'll make sure that everyone's got skin in the game, and then we're all completely aligned in what the outcome is. And there's never a situation where it's heads I win, tails you lose. Basically, the business cannot go well and I still win because I didn't put any money in, or I'm getting a $10,000 a month retainer. And so I avoid all of those situations, and I make sure that everyone pays to play and we're all aligned in the outcomes, and make sure that we're all going towards the same outcome. Number 6, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. If there's more fish in the sea than you know what to do with. You can find yourself in situations where you start feeling pressured to make a decision. You feel like you're getting sped up, or you don't want to miss out. You get FOMO, fear of missing out on this next great opportunity that you don't want to get left behind in. And so anytime that you get this idea of you're not exactly sure how you should do it, whether you should do it or whether you shouldn't do it, there's so many better ways that you can allocate your capital. And you just need to spend more time finding the perfect opportunity that you're completely excited about. And don't get driven by FOMO or by feeling pressure by the people that are running the deal in order to do it. Every time that I've invested in FOMO, the first deal that I ever did was a restaurant deal. I put $25,000 in. I didn't like the restaurant idea, but I didn't want to get left behind with all of my friends that were doing the deal. And so I put 25 grand in. The deal was going okay. And then the Department of Transportation in Utah actually changed all of the roads that were leading to the restaurant. So the restaurant couldn't get customers for like 6 months. And so everyone lost their investment. Nobody did anything bad, but it felt much worse than some of the other deals that I've lost money on, just because I was completely focused on not missing out on something, and that I hadn't bet on an idea that I was excited about. I just didn't want to get left behind when everybody else won, and then we all ended up losing anyway. Number 7 is you can't make a good deal with a bad partner. You should always cut square corners, never take a shortcut. And a stellar business can't overcome a bad partner. You can be tempted at times if there's an opportunity available, but it's run by someone that you don't completely trust or has given you an idea. My best example of this is there was a drink company that I had invested in with a partner that I didn't know really well, but he had given me some signs that he wasn't completely honest in everything that he was doing. But I really felt like the business itself was a really good business, even though the guy that was running the deal, the operator, was a little on the shady side. And what I learned through that deal was that a shady partner will always ruin the business, and a business really can't overcome it no matter how great the business economics of it look. Over time, a shady partner is going to be shady, and he'll find a way to ruin the business if you just give him a long enough time horizon. And that's exactly what happened. And so if I don't have complete confidence in the person that's running it, I'll just pass and I'll move on, even if it looks like AI or like a new Bitcoin thing or like a new Ethereum, whatever. If it's a person that has a history of having problems, or they're not doing everything that they say that they're going to do when you're in your diligence process, just pass and move on and live to fight another day. Number 8 is know how to lose money in the deal and make sure you never do that. Charlie Munger has a great quote that says, all I want to know is where I will be when I die, and I'll just never go there. And in every deal, if you don't know how the deal loses money, if it's all upside, if it all sounds beautiful, it all sounds like it's going to be great, and no one on the team can articulate what the downside scenario is of how this thing doesn't go well, and can't properly put a percentage chance that that happens, then you don't really understand the deal. And you're just around with a bunch of optimists, and the optimism is great. But when things don't go well, when something like a pandemic hits or a national issue, things that are outside of the people's control, you need people that have thought about the downside scenarios, and you need to understand how the deal loses money to make sure that you never do it that way. Number 9 is return of capital is more important than return on capital. Know how you get your money back, double the time horizon expectation, and leverage weekends every single deal. So return of capital, the best dealpreneurs that I've been around, the richest people that I know that have made money buying assets and selling assets or holding assets for a really long time, they're much more concerned that their capital is safe than the fact that they're going to potentially get a 30 or a 40 or 50% return. When people try to entice you with a massive return, you have to understand that that return is also pricing in the risk that you lose everything. So if I look at a deal and says, you're going to make 50% on your money in the first year, and I say, okay, well, what are the chances that I lose all of it? And they say, no, it's completely safe. It's backed by Bitcoin, pegged to the dollar, blah, blah, blah. The return that you get is commensurate with the risk that you're taking. So if you're getting a higher return, you're taking a bigger risk. And so understand that, and understand that if no one can articulate to you that you have a big return potential and also no risk of losing your money, then something's not right and something isn't being understood by you or the people that are running the deal. And it's always better to just never lose money than it is to have a high potential of return and it not work out. And so always optimize for getting your money back as opposed to maximizing the best return that you could potentially get. Number 10 is if you don't get the deal, they don't get your money. This is about making sure that you're investing and deploying capital into things that are within your circle of competence, the things that you understand. And what the best investors in the world say is that however big your circle of competence isn't nearly as important as the fact that you just stay within it. And so somebody who has a circle of competence like this, that really understands one thing, HVAC companies, but they just stay investing in HVAC companies, they can make a shit ton of money versus somebody who has a circle of competence like this of HVAC companies plus welding companies, but then they start thinking that they can invest in Bitcoin and things that they don't understand. And so as long as you completely understand the deal and you understand exactly what's happening in it and how you could lose money in it, then it's worth doing and it's worth going big on. When it falls outside of the thing that you really know, just don't fall victim to this idea that the opportunity is once in a lifetime. You don't want to miss out on it. This is the chance for you to get rich. And you're the luckiest person in the world that this opportunity fell across your lap. That's how scams happen. That's how you end up losing your money. And we're trying to optimize for you making great deals so that way you can stay in the game and keep going. Those are my 10 commandments to dealpreneurship. If you want more tips on how to do deals where if you're right, you get rich, and if you're wrong, you don't go broke, go to dealmaven.io, subscribe to the newsletter, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.